anything?
They don't need to pay anything, it's all free for them.
You probably just gonna need driver's license number to put in there, social security number.
But if you run it and they don't show up on there, then
They
they're
didn't do it.
DQ'd.
Right.
Okay, they have to register. It's their responsibility, it's their
Basically, we're
CDL.
just gonna have
It's their
the
cost.
registration.
How are they
morning.
gonna know? Are they?
We are gonna have a
We gotta tell them,
registration.
well, our guys, we gotta tell them.
Send letters out to all
I mean,
these
that's
CDL
the thing,
holders
like,
across
I
the
don't know
United
anything
States.
about it.
Yeah,
And
this-
it's supposed to take
I'm
effect in 2
curious.
months, you
This,
know?
this should
Like,
have
I should
been
get a
up and
letter in the
running
mail,
in
technically,
August.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah.
You would think.
And again, this was only the last week that they actually got the site running.
This is fresh off the press.
Mhm.
It's typical where there's a policy change, a procedure change, and then we don't,
They
we
put it in
figure out
place
how to
before
do
they
it
figure out how to
later.
do it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
figure out how to do it later,
Yeah, so
so, alright.
again, cost of doing business. Okay, so we've already talked about classes. All right, so let's go back to the Orange Book and Green Books. Okay, let's talk about the Orange Book first. Orange Book, this is the 2020 edition. Okay, now you usually have a 6-month period. Okay, if you have these in the trucks, if you have the older ones from 2016, go ahead and get the new ones, replace them. Okay, make certain the old ones are out after the 6 months. They can write you up for not having current information. Okay, so make certain that you've got the 2020 books in there. Also the same thing for the green books, the Federal Motor Carriers Association. Okay, these books have actually been superseded by our cell phones. Okay, every emergency responder, every firefighter in Canada or North America has an app on their phone that they can pull this information up automatically. Okay, but previously you used to have to do it. When my son was younger and he had his buddies riding around, we'd go on long trips. There used to be a thing you could play bingo. You could pick it up at Cracker Barrel or something like that. I just tossed those back in the back and had them look at all the transport trucks going down and see if they could find it in the book.
Boy,
They kept them
you were a
busy.
good time.
Yeah, kept them busy. They were smart. You know, they learned a lot. So
That's how you memorized all this stuff, isn't it?
yeah, so it's amazing how you get it. So you know, however you get it,
That's
let
it.
it soak in.
So you're saying
That's
they could
funny.
do an app, we could have just an app that they have to have on their
Doesn't
phone now,
release you
or-
from having to have the book.
Oh,
You
you
still
still have to
have
have the book.
Right.
But
Okay.
anybody up, like
Responders themselves.
Fire Marshal
Yeah.
Will's not gonna look it up in a book when he gets on site, he's gonna have an app.
He's gonna be sitting there. That's old hat. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, and it'd take you forever to find it in a book, you can probably find it in 30 seconds on the phone.
So here's how you would find it in the book. Okay, you got 2 different sections. You got the yellow section here. Okay, yellow section is set up according to listed the hazardous materials by the ID number. So if you wanted to look it up and you look at the placard and you saw the placard, you go down, check in the book, the yellow pages will tell you where it's at. Okay, so for us, 1075, petroleum gas, propylene, propane, right there. Right? But if you wanted to do it old school and you were an alphabet type of guy, you go to the blue pages. The blue pages was alphabetical order. Now the whole reason why we have to have these books is for 1 page and 1 page only. And that is page propane, page 115 right there. Okay, so what does page 115 look like? Okay, that is our hazardous materials. That's the thing that we carry the most of. Okay, now if you were carrying different brands of gasoline, you're going to have this for different ones. For diesel, for gas, for whatever. But for us, it's page 115. This is the only thing that's in here. Now, I will tell you, this book is in here. You actually have this in 2 different sections. Page 115 is the same thing on the bottom 2/3 of your shipping papers, word for word. So this tells you what to do in case of fire explosion, what to do as far as health, and we'll break it down a little bit later. But if you want to take a look at it, if you want to see what the bottom of your shipping papers look like, this is what it looks like in a little word format. Okay, so how do you recognize if it's a hazardous materials? If it has any of the following 6. It could just have 1, or it could have all 6. As long as it has a shipping papers, it has signage, it is labeled, it has any type of placards, that you get an SDS anytime it's been shipped to you, or if you have any type of markings. So we're going to talk about each of these individually. First one up, shipping papers. Okay, another thing that I have to read off, the federal document. Okay, shipping papers are a definition of document used in transportation of a hazardous material that describes the various attributes of the hazardous materials being shipped. This document must accompany each shipment of hazardous materials. Now, for us, we just get a shipping paper and you put it on Mylar or you put it on hard hard plastic and we don't have to worry about it because we're not changing anything. But if you're getting a cartridge company and are working for Granger and you're shipping a bunch of things, each day when you get a bill of lading, you're gonna get a shipping paper with all that information.
Our
And
fuel
it's
guys get it.
Yep.
Every BOL,
Every BOL. So here's what a shipping paper is gonna be. A shipping papers, now, right there is the main point. This little section right there is gonna be this. Now, shipping papers, now the first question I'm gonna tell you is this. A shipping paper is gonna tell you everything about the product except the name of the manufacturer. Okay, so it's not gonna tell you who manufactures it, it's just gonna tell you what it is. So for us, we have the proper shipping name, liquid petroleum gas, hazard class 2.1, we're a flammable gas, UNID number, UN 1075, the total quantity measured, okay? Now for us, it's either gonna be one tank load or one storage tank, or do you deliver any cylinders for an exchange? Okay. Then you're gonna have a special one where it's gonna have a little line that's gonna say the number of cylinders and then the weight. So you just change it with a pencil. All right, now with that, again, we're at class 2, so we don't have to have the packaging group. We do have to have non-corrosive for that. And then the little section right here is you should have your emergency response telephone guide. Now, do you use PERS or you use PERS? So there should be an 800 number for PERS. And PERS doesn't use it, but Chemtrek's using it. There's also a CN number. And what it does is when they call the PERS number, or they would call the emergency response number, they would give that responder that CN number, and it would verify that you paid your bill for the last year. Because if you haven't paid it, and then they're going to say, well, it's not effective, this is no good, yeah, $25,000 please. Okay? Now with this, we had to change shipping papers 5 years ago. And the only reason why we had to change shipping papers is UNID number used to be at the top page, and proper shipping used to be on line number 3. And because of that one change, because of the global harmonization system, and they settled on UN 1075 for propane, shipping papers had to be changed for that.
Do we have to provide shipping papers then when we're dropping off cylinders?
No, not to the customer, no.
Okay.
But we are using, like, we have all these in all our trucks.
Correct. I just didn't
And they're
know
replaced every year.
where that line of what's considered shipping versus delivery.
The only thing
kinda
that you're
They're not
required,
shipping it.
you know, let's say if you supply an RV place that, you know, does a dispensing station, or if you're supplying a cylinder cage to, say, like an Ace Hardware, you need to take a SDS form and give them that SDS form, because it has to be on file at each time. Okay, so again, we've got this information. Again, it's going to have everything but the name of the manufacturer, okay? And the bottom 2/3 right there, from potential hazards down, is going to be the same information that you're going to see as page 115 of the emergency response guide. Now, okay, shipping papers. I'm going to toss in a couple of things because you may run into it. Okay, shipping papers have to be within immediate reach.